Hello, welcome to stream. I am Girl with Experience, and today we are reading Taming of the Shrew. Okay, it is Friday. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't work on Fridays, so it's a really nice day to stream on because I'm just chilling in my house pretty much all day because I don't want to go outside. Because why would I want to go outside? And it's good. It's good. Life is good. Um, what did I do today? I walked by the river today. I live in Korea, so I was walking by the Han River, which just means the Korean River. It's nice. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day today. It's 24 degrees outside Celsius. If you do Fahrenheit, you can do the math. I believe in you. Yeah, it was a great day. It was good. I'm really happy. But yeah, I'm really excited to read. I'm really excited to read today. After yesterday, it really hyped me up because it was the first time I was streaming in a really long while. And it made me really happy to be back. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be doing this again. And I'm so excited to just be here and, do the thing that I love to do, which is read and, have people enjoy it. So today we're gonna read Scene 1, Act 1, or Act 1, Scene 1 of Taming of the Shrew. I'm pretty hyped about it, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, also, I was gonna say, so I know some people know this, not everybody knows this, but I do a little bit of music. I've been working on recording some things, and I'm hoping within the next week or two to release some stuff. Currently, I'm just working on some covers right now. Some Korean covers. So that's exciting. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be putting those on my YouTube channel. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Hello, AVM. Welcome to chat again. Wow, what a great question to start in the chat. Amazing. I'm so glad that this is a question that I will easily be able to answer, AVM. You really make life easy. I don't know why the orange is called orange fruit name origin. I don't know. Etymology. I really don't know. That's a really good question. So the color was named after the fruit because, okay, that makes sense. So the word ultimately derives from Proto-Dravidian or Tamil, which is naram, which makes sense because in Spanish it's naranja. And then in Sanskrit it was naranga, meaning orange tree. And in Arabic it is naranj. Persian it is narang, which makes more sense than the word orange. I don't understand where orange came from, considering, Interesting. Okay, so the color was named after the fruit, and the first recorded use of the word orange as a color name in English was in 1512. Interesting. Hello, Vibing. Welcome to chat. Interesting. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad I could learn that, AVM. I did think about it, and obviously I didn't think very hard about it because I wasn't really looking for it. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what they were calling the color orange before they called it orange, right? But at the same time, maybe there was a word for it, or maybe they just didn't call it anything. I don't know. I don't know about the origin of the words that were used for color. Because if you think about it too, right? You have the color name indigo, which technically we could talk about this because you have Roy G. Biv, right? And indigo was a color name created to make that rainbow, what is it? It's not an anagram. Just to make the color abbreviation flow better, they needed a vowel to put in it, right? Because they have O and Y. No, I don't think so, Avia. But yeah, so indigo is technically not a real color, but I'm guessing that the color indigo was based on the color of actual indigo, the plant, right? So I don't know. But that makes sense because I mean, if you think about where we get different colors from, a lot of the time people would use plants as dyes for different, like for clothing and for things like this. So it makes sense that they would name them after plants, right? Because if you're using these as coloring tools, it would make sense that the plant itself was named first and then they use that plant to label the color. So I think that personally makes sense because if you think about it this way, right? So purple was a word that was created by Crayola, actually. Purple is a trademarked name because the name for purple is just made up, whereas violet is the actual color, that we think of purple. And, you know, violet is this dark purplish blue, right? So it makes sense. Again, and also with like rouge, right? I can imagine rouge coming from an origin that has to do with rose, right? Because roses are red, violets are bluish purple. They're not blue, but like they're kind. But anyway, rouge coming from a root that kind of has to do with roses. Same thing with mustard, right? We have mustard yellow. Yeah, it makes sense the way that it's set up because of the way that we as people have used these plants in the past. You know, so going to the origins of the word and figuring out what exactly they are labeled after. As for black and white, I don't know. Black and white and beige and tan and things like that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know much about it. I don't know if, especially for things like, because I mean, I think getting a pure white would be really hard in history just because, like, right now, how we achieve getting what we consider a pure white fabric, we have to use bleach. We have to bleach anything that we want to be that pure white color. Because, I mean, paper gets bleached if you want it to be a white paper, or cotton gets bleached because it's not that pure color. So I would think that this idea of white either would have been different or it would have been created as a word later on just because it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't possible to have. That's my thought process. Do I know? No, I have absolutely no idea. But I mean, that's just how I'm thinking of it. Okay. It is time to read. I was going to say it is time to but I don't know why that's my like mental default. Every time I start with it is time, I just immediately start thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's really bad. So yeah, it's time to start the Taming of the Shrew. So yesterday I read the induction, aka the introduction, and I looked at the back of the book as well. I wasn't looking at the end, but I was looking to see if there was anything to kind of resolve what happened. And it looks like there is. So it looks like at the end of the page, or at the end of the it looks like there's there's something at the end, but at the same time, it looks like it's just a rewritten version of the induction. And we can go over that at some point as well. We're not going to go over it today. Because why? They say, I mean, even in this, it says it's defective. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come back to this. I absolutely have no clue what the whole point of this was. If there's even, like, if it even gets sewn in. But anyway, okay, so what I realized yesterday is that the induction is an introduction of The Taming of the Shrew. The Taming of the Shrew is a play that is being performed for the people in the induction. So this is a play being performed within a play. We've seen this device used before with Shakespeare, but I don't know, it's just another weird thing. But the thing is, it's a full play. It's not just like a short little thing that's happening within the whole thing. Right, exactly. It's an inception thing, right? It's a play within a play, whatever. You know what? I doubt any of these people are actually on stage whenever this is happening. And I'm curious too about this idea of this induction, because I'm curious if most places even use this induction when putting on the performance, because it's so absolutely irrelevant and it does not have any relevance to the actual play. So I'm very curious as to, like, do people use this? Do people do this? I don't know. Okay. So let's start The Taming of the Shrew. We have Lucentio and Tranio. We're in Padua, and I'm going to look up where Padua is. I'm thinking Padua is in Italy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. What's up with all these Italians, man? What is with Shakespeare and the Italians? That is my question. I don't know what's up. I mean, so I am going to Italy in a year, though. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty hyped. So, okay, who do we have here? We have Lucentio, who is a suitor to Bianca. Who's Bianca? Baptista's younger daughter. And who's Baptista? He is a wealthy Padawan. Padawan! Oh, my young Padawan. He's gonna become a Jedi. Oh my god, I'm gonna be thinking of Star Wars this whole time. Okay. All right, and then we have Tranio. Who is Tranio? He is Lucentio's personal servant. Okay. Fantastic. You know what? I'll go over who these characters are as we go, because otherwise I have absolutely no idea what's happening. Okay. So, we're on the streets of Padua with our little Padawans. I can't handle it. Okay. And Lucentio and his servant Tranio are here. And Lucentio says, Tranio, since for the great desire I had to see fair Padua, nursery of arts, I am arrived for fruitful Lombardy, the pleasant garden of great Italy, and my father's love and leave am armed with his good will in thy good company. My trusty servant well approved in all, here let us breathe and happily institute a course of learning and ingenious studies. Pisa, renowned for grave citizens, gave me my being and my father first, a merchant of great traffic through the world, Vincentio, come from Bentivogli. God. Vincentio's son, brought up in Florence, it shall become to serve all hopes conceived to deck his fortune with his virtuous deeds. And therefore, Tranio, for the time I study virtue, and that part of philosophy will I apply that treats of happiness by virtue specially to be achieved. Tell me thy mind, for I have Pisa left, and am to Padua come, as he that leaves a shallow plash to plunge him in the deep, and with satiety seeks to quench his thirst. Okay, so he's not a Padawan. He's from Pisa. Okay. So Lucentio is here. He is in Padua. He's come to visit. Whatever. He's there on a mission. What's his mission? I am guessing his mission. I don't know if he's met Bianca yet, but I'm guessing he will. But Tranio says, "Perdonatemi, gentle mastermind." Gentle mastermind. Not gentle mastermind. This isn't a superhero movie. He's not a villain. Okay, I am in all affected as yourself, glad that you thus continue your resolve to suck the sweets of sweet philosophy. Only, good master, while we do admire this virtue and this moral discipline, let's be no Stoics nor no stocks, I praise, or so devote to Aristotle's checks, as Ovid be an outcast quite abjured. Bulk logic with acquaintance that you have and practice rhetoric in your common talk. Music and poesy, used to quicken you. The mathematics and the metaphysics fall to them as you find your stomach serves you. No profit grows where is no pleasure ta'en. In brief, sir, study what you most affect. Okay. So Tranio is just like, look, okay, I like how you're being logical about this. I like how, okay. Yeah, so, okay, Lucentio is in Padua. He's like in search of a woman, whatever. He's like, I am here to satiate my father's desire. This is what I think he's saying, okay? This is like 85%. There's an 85% chance I am wrong, okay? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. We always do, okay? He's on a mission in Padua, leaving his father in Pisa so that he can like go and do his father's will. And Tranio's like, I get it. You're being logical about this. I appreciate it. But also make sure you keep in mind, sure, you've got a logical mind, you've got a logical brain, great. But you also need to make sure that you use like your lovely and creative side as well. Sorry, I thought I saw a mosquito. Is that a mosquito? I can't tell. Hold on. It kind of looks like a baby mosquito. Hold on. I'm going to kill it. One moment, please. It is dead. Okay. I get a lot of mosquitoes in my apartment. I'm not sure why. I don't know where they're coming from. But, murder on stream. So, yeah. So Tranio is just like, make sure you're doing it for you. Make sure you're finding, passion in what you're looking for as well. And Lucentio says, gran mercies. Wait. Gramercies? Tranio. Well dost thou advise. If Biondello, thou wert come ashore, we could at once put us in readiness, and take a lodging fit to entertain such friends at times, as time in Padua shall beget. But stay a while, what company is this? And Tranio says, Master, some show to welcome us to town. And then Lucentio and Tranio go to the side of the stage. Okay? So Lucentio's like, oh, thanks for the advice. Appreciate it. And Tranio's like, yeah, okay, well, there are some entertainers here, aka some ladies entering the scene, so let's watch. Let's watch. They're here for you, my man. So they step to the side, and then Baptista, I think Baptista is the dad, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Baptista is the father. And then he's got Katharina and Bianca, his daughters. Gremio, who is a pantaloon. What? What is a pantaloon? Okay, it's a personal servant. It's a personal servant of Baptista. And then Hortensio, who is Bianca's suitor. Okay. So, all right. We got Katharina, Bianca. Gremio, who's Baptista's servant, and then Hortensio, who is trying to get with Bianca. All right. So Baptista, the father, says, "Gentlemen, importune me no farther, for how I firmly am resolved, that is, not to bestow my youngest daughter before I have a husband for the elder. If either of you both love Katharina, please, because I know you well and love you well, leave shall you have to court her at your pleasure." No! That's so sad. Baptista's just like, hey, everyone's trying to court my youngest, but let me just tell you, I want to marry my eldest off first, and no one wants her. So, like, if you want to court her, please, now is the time. Even you, Gremio, my servant, please, someone just marry my daughter. And Gremio's like, to cart her, rather. She's too rough for me. There, Hortensio. It is your will. I know, free real estate, really though. Gremio's just like, nah, man, I do not want that. He's like, she's too much. She's a lot. He's like, yo, Hortensio, do you want her? Because I don't even want her. It's so funny. I was talking to the friend who was visiting. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was Agamemnon. So Agamemnon was talking to who is it? Achilles. And Agamemnon went to Achilles because Achilles refused to fight for Agamemnon for a little bit. He was pouting in his tent, whatever. If you've seen the movie, you know. If you've read the book, you know. Okay, so Achilles gets upset with Agamemnon, whatever. And Agamemnon comes in and he's just like, hey, Achilles, I will give you for free my daughter and the dowry if you fight for me. Or if you don't want my daughter, I'll even just give you the dowry. And it's just like the most desperate plea to get him to fight. He's just like, please, for the love of anything, just do this for me. And it's this is how it feels. It feels like this act of desperation. He's just like, please, anyone marry my daughter, please. Because everybody wants Bianca, but nobody wants Katharina. I don't know if it's Katharina or Katarina. I think Katarina sounds nicer. Anyway, so Katarina turns to Baptista and says, I pray you, sir, is it your will to make a stale of me amongst these mates? And Hortensio says, mates, maid? How mean you that? No mates for you unless you are of gentler, milder mold. So Katarina turns to turns to her father and is just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you're saying this to these men? You're just like offering me to these guys who don't even like me that much? Like, I don't even get any say in this? What? And then the guy who's trying to get with her sister is just like, whoa! What are you talking about? We are not friends, okay? He's just like, who are you calling a mate? Mate? Okay? We, if you were nicer, then maybe we would get along, but we do not get along. You do not make it easy. And Katerina says, a faith, sir, you shall never need to fear. It is not halfway to her heart, but if it were, doubt not her care should be to comb your noddle with a three-legged stool and paint your face and use you like a fool. And Hortensio says, from all such devils, good Lord, deliver us. And Gremio says, and me too, good Lord. Okay. So essentially, Katerina is just like, So Katerina is just like, trust me, I'm not going after you either. Okay? Look, I would rather see you dance like a fool and be a clown than have anything to do with you. And then Hortensio is just like, oh God, I hate you. And Gremio is just like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I don't really want to court her either. And then Tranio, who is Tranio? Oh, okay. Tranio is I forgot. He's the servant of Lucentio. And Tranio says, hushed, master. Here's some good pastime toward. That wench is stark mad or wonderful forward. And Lucentio says, but in the other silence do I see maid's mild behavior and sobriety. Peace, Tranio. And Tranio says, well said, Master Mum, and graze your fill. Okay, so Tranio's just like, hey, that one's feisty. And Lucentio's like, yeah, I know, but like the other one is quiet and like seems as though she would be a good person to court because she's not gonna like bite my ear off if I do something wrong. You know, will to Shizzo, that is a much better way to phrase it. Thank you for fixing it. I will not do it, but thank you for wording it so nicely. I will stand for that in the chat. As long as it's worded nicely, I won't necessarily do it, but I will stand for it. Okay, so yeah, Tranio's just like, okay, you know what? Just like look at her, whatever, fine, you know. But just so you know, it's probably gonna be hard to get. And then Baptista says, gentlemen, who is the father? He's the father, Baptista. Gentlemen, that I may soon make good what I have said. Bianca, get you in, and let it not displease thee, good Bianca, for I will love thee nevertheless, my girl. And Katerina says, a pretty Pete. It is best put the finger in the eye. And she knew why. Bianca, sister, content you in my discontent. Sir, to your pleasure humbly I subscribe. My books and instruments shall be my company. On them to look and practice by myself. Okay, I'm getting a vibe from Bianca. Bianca's like the nice, well-behaved, good sister, right? She's the one who follows the rules, but Baptista is like, okay, Bianca, you have to stay inside until your sister gets married, okay? Because I don't want any other men looking at you until your sister gets married, because otherwise you are going to distract them because you are the bigger catch, okay? And Katerina's just like, wow, that's messed up, father. Can't believe you, but I'm never getting married. And Bianca's just like, I'm gonna go play the flute in my bedroom. She's just like, I'm gonna read. That's about it. All right, sounds good to me. And then Lucentio says, hark, Tranio, thou mayest hear Minerva speak. And Hortensio says, Signor Baptista, oh God, will you be so strange? Sorry am I that our goodwill affects Bianca's grief. I love this. Hortensio's like, Baptista, what are you doing? I want to see her. She's my crush. Why are you locking her in her bedroom? He's like, no, I want to see her. And Gremio says, why will you mew her up, Signor Baptista, for this fiend of hell, and make her bear the penance of her tongue? So Gremio is just like, why are you punishing Bianca for Katerina's actions? Because Katerina is the one who's acting out of turn, so shouldn't Katerina be the one who's punished, not Bianca? And Baptista says, gentlemen, content ye, I am resolved. Go in, Bianca. And then Bianca exits. Damn. So Bianca is basically she's like grounded for the sake of Katerina to get to get a husband. He's like, I gotta marry her off. I gotta make sure she's got it. Oh wait, I still have my glasses on. I'm not looking at mosquitoes anymore, so I don't need to have it. He's like, whatever. You know what? I'm just gonna lock her away so no one can see her. It's gonna turn into like a Rapunzel thing. She's gonna be like, ah. I know that's not Rapunzel. I know it's Ariel, but still, she's ah. And and she's gonna have like all of her hair coming down the tower. And she's just gonna be like, I'm still waiting, father. And he's gonna be like, Katarina's still not married. It's so good. I already kind of like Katarina because I told you I've seen 10 Things I Hate About You, and it's based on this, and I like the film a lot, and I resonate with her character a lot because she's so resistant to literally everyone she meets, and that's slightly how I am. Well, I would say it's more than slightly who I am normally when I meet people. So I'm just like, oh, we're talking, all right. I guess that's happening now. I think that's also partially because I'm slightly introverted, and so anytime I meet somebody in public, I'm like, wait, what? Why are we talking? Why did you want to strike up a conversation with me? I don't understand. What's going on? Why are we being social? Why did I go outside? I have better things to do. Like play the flute in my bedroom without my father exiling me. Okay. So anyway, Bianca exits, she goes to her room, whatever. And then it says, and for I know she taketh most delight in music, instruments, and poetry. Schoolmasters will I keep within my house, fit to instruct her youth. If you, Hortensio, or Signor Gremio, you know any such, prefer them hither. For to cunning men I will be very kind and liberal to mine own children, in good bringing up. And so, farewell, Katarina, you may stay, for I have more to commune with Bianca. And then he exits. Okay, so Baptista is just like, okay, I gotta go find some tutors for Bianca now because she is stuck inside of the house until you get married. But Katarina, make sure you stay outside because maybe one day you'll find a man, before you're dead. And maybe Bianca will finally be able to find a man before you're dead too. But after you get married. And then exits. It's interesting to me because I'll watch a lot of period dramas and I'll read about these kinds of things. I know they usually like to marry off their eldest first. And I know it would have been scandalous to have multiple daughters out at the same time. But also, I don't know, like, if your youngest is appealing to someone, wouldn't it be okay to marry them off? Because I don't think Katarina would even have a problem with with having Bianca married off because Bianca is into, like, other people. Because Katarina clearly is not interested in anyone. And it's holding back Bianca. But at the same time, I don't know if it's Katarina trying to be a little bit protective because Bianca kind of gives me this young, naive air to her. The way that she is just like, okay, I'll go inside, father. Haha, I have no opinions. So, I don't know. She's only had one line, so I'm not going to be too quick to judge, but at the same time, I don't know. Okay, so Katarina says, why? And I trust I may go too, may I not? What? Shall I be appointed hours as though belike I knew not what to take and what to leave? And then she walks away. So she's just like, I don't really want to stay here either because I don't like either of you. I don't like either of you dudes at all. So bye. And then Gremio says, you may go to the devil's dam. Your gifts are so good there's none will hold you. And then Katarina leaves. So yeah, Gremio's just like, whatever. Bye. And then he's still talking to Hortensio. And so he says, their love is not so great, Hortensio, but we may blow our nails together and fast it fairly out. Our cake's dough on both sides. Farewell. Yet for the love I bear my sweet Bianca, if I can by any means light on a fit man to teach her that wherein she delights, I will wish him to her father. So Gremio also likes Bianca. I thought, is he courting her? I thought he was a servant. He's just a suitor. I was like, Dude, why do we have one character named Gremio and one named Grumio? What is the point of that, William? William, why did you write that? No. I mean, it's already confusing if you have maybe 3 characters with the same first letter in their first name that are the same sex. But like, to have 2 men with basically the same name minus 1 vowel? William, you know better. You know better. Okay, so yeah, Gremio is courting her. And then Hortensio, it's interesting though that Gremio and Hortensio are able to hold a conversation when they're courting the same woman. Anyway, Hortensio, so will I, Signor Gremio, but a word I pray. Though the nature of our quarrel yet never brooked parley, know now, upon advice it toucheth us both, that we may yet again have access to our fair mistress and be happy rivals in Bianca's love, to labour and effect one thing specially. So Hortensio is like, I have a plan to once again have access to Bianca. I like how he says that. Access. Access to our fair mistress. Like, okay. And Gremio says, what's that, I pray? What's your plan, Hortensio? And Hortensio says, marry, sir, to get a husband for her sister. And Gremio says, a husband? A devil. Hortensio, I say a husband. Gremio, I say a devil, thinkest thou, Hortensio. Though her father be very rich, any man is so very a fool to be married to hell. So Gremio's like, really? You think you're going to get her a husband? Because honestly, I don't know anyone in their right mind who would marry Katerina. He would be a devil. He would be an imp. Okay? He would be an idiot. And Hortensio says, tush, Gremio. Though it pass your patience and mine to endure her loud alarums. Why, man, there be good fellows in the world, and a man could light on them, would take her with all faults and money enough. And Gremio says, I cannot tell, but I had as lief take her dowry with this condition, to be whipped at the high cross every morning. Jeez, Gremio. Gremio clearly has a really high opinion of Katerina. He's just like, yeah, I think she should be whipped on the stake and just like, done for. She's an imp. She comes from hell. She's the worst thing that's ever happened to the earth. And Hortensio says, faith, as you say, there's a small choice in rotten apples, but come. Since this bar-in-law makes us friends, it shall be so far forth friendly maintained till, by helping Baptista's eldest daughter to a husband, we set his youngest free for a husband, and then have to it afresh. Sweet Bianca, happy man be this dole, he that runs fastest gets the ring. How say you, Signor Gremio? So Hortensio's just like, look, we're going to buy a man out, we're going to give him a lot of money, and we're going to be like, yo, go out with this girl, marry her, please, get her to marry you, and we will pay you. And then Bianca's going to be free to start dating, and then she can choose one of us. He's like, Gremio, are you in? And Gremio says, I am agreed. And would I have given him the best horse in Padua to begin his wooing, that would thoroughly woo her, wed her, and bed her, and rid the house of her. Come on. Wed her and bed her. And then Gremio and Hortensio exit. They exunt. Sorry. I know. I love the word exunt. But, okay. Hortensio is scum. I'm just going to say it. He's gross. He gives me the ick. Gremio also is kind of gross. Don't really like him either. I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's just like, no. It's gross. Okay, so Tranio. We have Tranio and Lucentio on the side. So Tranio and Lucentio, like, I'm guessing they're coming into the middle of the stage, whatever, right? Whatever. And Tranio says, I pray, sir, tell me, is it possible that love should of a sudden take such hold? So Tranio's just like, bro, Lucentio, keep it in your pants, man. Like, I get it, she's hot, but like, really? This is like a Romeo and Juliet situation. Romeo was just like, She's so sexy. Juliet, I see her across the... She's wearing a mask. But I know. He like goes into heat. Like at first sight of Juliet and is just like, I must have her. And this is exactly what Lucentio is doing too. He's just like, Bianca, she's the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life. And Lucentio says, oh, Tranio, till I found it to be true, I never thought it possible or likely. But see, while idly I stood looking on, I found the effect of love in idleness, and now in plainness do confess to be that art to me is secret and as dear as Anna to the Queen of Carthage was. Tranio, I burn, I pine, I perish, Tranio, if I achieve not this young modest girl. Counsel me, Tranio, for I know thou canst. Assist me, Tranio, for I know thou wilt. Dude! I honestly don't know how this works. Like, I've experienced... I wouldn't say I've experienced love at first sight before. Like, I've become definitely, like, infatuated with somebody at first sight. I wouldn't say I've, like, seen somebody and been like, I have to pursue them and they are the one. I recently experienced this. A friend of mine would, like, saw someone recently and just, like, pursued her. And I was like, what? And, like, after a week, he was just like, I have to marry you. I've never experienced this before. I've never heard of this in real life ever in my life. But no, he was just, he saw this woman and he was like, I have to have her. She's the love of my life. I mean, she said no, but it was like, holy cannoli. Like, oh my God. I don't know. As somebody who, I can never really imagine myself getting married. I don't know if it's because I've never been in love with somebody like that. But to imagine myself proposing to someone after a week, like you can't really know about somebody very well after a week, but I was like, damn, that's fast. But I mean, I don't know. Again, I haven't experienced love at first sight before. I don't know what that's like. I don't know how that works. But man. So Lucentio is going through it right now. I guess that's how my friend felt too, is he was just like, he saw her and was like, this is it. I don't know. Is that a thing? Has anyone in chat ever experienced this? Is this a thing that people go through? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been there. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I am just an emotionless drone who does not experience these emotions. I mean, again, I've experienced infatuation in sight, but yeah, never a feeling of I must have them. Okay, but anyway, so Tranio is like, Master, it is no time to chide you now. Affection is not rated from the heart. If love have touched you, naught remains but so. Redime te captum quam queas minimo. Okay, this is Latin, so I'm going to read the translation. I don't remember. My Latin is very bad. Ransom yourself from captivity as cheaply as you can. Which Shakespeare had quoted. Okay. One more time. I'm going to read it one more time because I already forgot what it means. Ransom yourself, right? Ransom yourself from captivity as cheaply as you can. Okay, so yeah, Tranio's like, you know what? Whatever, man. If you want to go through it, man. Just be careful. And Lucentio says, gramercies. Gramercies, lad. Go forward this contents. The rest will comfort in thy counsel's soul. Tranio, master, you look so longly on the maid. Perhaps you marked not what's the pith of all. Lucentio. Oh, yes, I saw sweet beauty in her face, such as the daughter of Agenor had, that made great Jove to humble him to her hand, when with his knees he kissed the Cretan sand. We always talk about Jove. I don't know why we talk about Jove in every single play, William. William, stop bringing up Jove. It's a really old reference, and like no one knows it. I always forget what it's about. I always forget. Okay, we're going to go to the footnotes one more time, just to remember. Ovid's Metamorphosis tells how Jupiter, in the form of a bull, carried Europa away on his back from Sidian towards Crete. It was actually in Sidian that Jupiter humbled him to her hand. How romantic. Yeah, like, I remember, I haven't ever read Metamorphosis. I've heard it's good. It's not the Metamorphosis it's not the Metamorphosis I've read. I've read Kant's Metamorphosis. I haven't read Ovid's Metamorphosis. Maybe, man, I'm just so ill-read. Okay. So yeah, so Lucentio's just like, yeah, I get it. I get why Jove fell in love with, the daughter of Agenor because, he carried her on his back and fell in love with her and humbled himself to fall in love with a mortal when he was a god. And Tranio says, saw you no more? Marked you not how her sister began to scold and raise up such a storm that mortal ears might hardly endure the din? So Tranio's just like, but are you ready to pursue her even against her sister, who is like the harshest, craziest woman we've ever seen in the, entire existence of ourselves? And Lucentio's just like, Tranio, I saw her coral lips to move, and with her breath she did perfume the air. Sacred and sweet was all I saw in her. Tranio. And then he says to the side, nay, then 'tis time to stir him from his trance. So Tranio's just like, dude, has it. He's out of his mind. He's like, look, I gotta snap him out of this before he like tries to go after her. And then he says, I pray awake, sir. If you love the maid, bend thoughts and wits to achieve her. Thus it stands, her eldest sister is so cursed and shrewd, that till the father rid his hands of her, master, your love must live a maid at home. And therefore has he closely mewed her up, because she will not be annoyed with suitors. So he's just like, look, you got to figure out a way then to get her out of the house, because if you're not going to get her out of the house, then, you're not going to be able to pursue her. So we have to get the other woman occupado. So cringy. Okay. And then Lucentio says, I, Tranio, what a cruel father is it? What a cruel father's he. But art thou not advised he took some care to get her cunning schoolmasters to instruct her? Tranio says, I marry him, I, sir. And now 'tis plotted. Lucentio, I have it, Tranio. Tranio, master, from my hand, both our inventions meet and jump in one. Lucentio, tell me thine first. So they're brainstorming. They're trying to figure out how to make this work. And Tranio says, you will be schoolmaster and undertake the teaching of the maid. That's your device. Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay, so Tranio's like, you are going to become a tutor to Bianca. And Lucentio says, it is. May it be done? Tranio says, not possible, for who shall bear your part and be in Padua here, Vincentio's son? Keep house and ply his book, welcome his friends, visit his countrymen and banquet them. So Tranio's like, I mean, it's a good idea, but also like, what's going to happen whenever you're not standing in your father's place? Like, what are you going to do whenever people want you to be greeting people or like hosting things or blah, 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 blah. Like, it's unreasonable because you're not able to fulfill your destiny as the son of your father, right? Vincentio. And Lucentio And Lucentio says, basta, which means enough. Content thee, for I have it full. We will not yet be seen in any house, nor can we be distinguished by our faces for man or master. Then it follows thus, thou shalt be master, Tranio, in my stead. Keep house and port and service as I should. I will some other be, some Florentine, some Neapolitan, or meaner man of Pisa. 'Tis hatched, and shall be so. Tranio, at once uncase thee, take my coloured hat and cloak. When Biondello comes, he waits on thee, but I will charm him first to keep his tongue. Okay, so Lucentio and Tranio are going to change places. So Lucentio is just like, look, you know what you're going to do? You're going to be me in my stead. You are going to go to these events that I'm supposed to go to as me, because nobody knows what I look like. Nobody knows who I am yet in this area, in Padua. So you are going to go to these events as me, and you're going to meet all of these people who are trying to meet me. And I am just going to be like this commoner or whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's trade outfits and wardrobes, and we can make this work. And so they trade outfits. And Tranio says, so had you need? In brief, sir, sith it your pleasure is, and I am tied to be obedient, for so your father charged me at our parting, be serviceable to my son, quoth he, although I think 'twas in another case. I am content to be Lucentio, because so well I love Lucentio. So Tranio is just like, look, I'm cool with being you. I'm cool pretending to be you because I love you. You're my bro. I serve you. I care about you, and therefore I will be you for your sake. And Lucentio says, Tranio, be so, because Lucentio loves. He's like, I love you too, bro. I got you. And let me be a slave to achieve that maid, whose sudden sight hath thralled my wounded eye. And then Biondello comes in and says, here comes the rogue, Sirrah, where have you been? So who's Biondello? I don't know. Biondello. He's a boy servant to Lucentio. Okay. And Biondello says, where have I been? Nay, how now, brown cow, where are you? Master, has my fellow Tranio stolen your clothes, or you stolen his, or both? Pray, what's the news? And Biondello's just like, I'm confused. What's happening? Why are we playing dress up? And Lucentio says, Sirrah, come hither. 'Tis no time to jest, and therefore frame your manners to the time. Your fellow Tranio here to save my life, puts my apparel and my countenance on. And I, for my escape, have put on his, for in a quarrel since I came ashore, I killed a man, in fear I was descried. Wait you on him, I charge you as becomes, while I make way from hence to save my life. You understand me? So Lucentio came up with a lie. He's like, Biondello, I'm undercover. And I just imagine Biondello just being like, really? Oh my God. And Lucentio being like, I killed a man. And Biondello going, oh my gosh. And Lucentio going, so I have to go undercover as Tranio, because they're looking for me. And Biondello go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Lucentio, what have you done? I understand, I will serve you at any cost. And Biondello goes, sir, never a whit. And Lucentio says, and not a jot of Tranio in your mouth. Tranio is changed into Lucentio. And Biondello says, the better for him. Would I were so too. And so Biondello is just like really committed. He's just like, I got it. I will not call him anything but Lucentio. Okay, you are not Lucentio anymore. He's Lucentio. I got it. And Tranio says, so could I, faith, boy, to have the next wish after, that Lucentio indeed had Baptista's younger daughter. But Sirrah, not for my sake, but for your master's, I advise you use your manners discreetly in all kinds of company. When I am alone, why, then I am Tranio, but in all places else, your master, Lucentio. Okay. So Tranio's just like, look, Lucentio is pursuing someone. I am not Lucentio at the moment. But outside of my bedchambers, I am Lucentio. Otherwise, you may call me Tranio. And Lucentio says, Tranio, let's go. One thing more rest that thyself execute, to make one among those wooers. If thou ask me why, sufficeth my reasons are both good and weighty. And then they exeunt. So everybody's gone. And there are observers above. Oh, I see. Okay, so these are the people from the induction. These are people watching the play. So servant 1, hold up, where's my hair tie? He had the monocle, I remember. Okay, so servant 1 says, my lord, you nod, you do not mind the play. And Christopher Sly says, yes. By Saint Anne do I, a good matter surely. Comes there any more of it? And the page says, oh, the page Bartholomew, who's dressed as a woman and pretending to be Christopher's wife, says, "My lord, 'tis but begun." And Christopher Sly says, "'Tis a very excellent piece of work, madam lady. Would 'twere done." And they remain seated and continue to observe the play. And that is the end of scene 1. What a whirlwind. What an exciting setup for the play. Okay, so we've got like a whole bunch of people who are in love with Bianca, and we've got no one who's interested in Katerina. Great. Fantastic. Love it. 3 men are already in love with Katerina. That's crazy. Or in love with Bianca. She's an it girl. Okay. Go off, Bianca. You go, girl. I don't know how, well, and it's interesting too, because like Bianca said one thing. She's just like, okay, I'll do what you say, and then the end. And I get this whole idea of like men in the olden days were like, I want an obedient and submissive wife, ha ha ha. But it's also like, I don't know. I never understood it. I never understood this concept of that being appealing. But it's also just because I'm not that kind of person, maybe. Maybe that's why. Well, good. I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going. This is it's a very interesting premise to me. It's not really reminding me of anything he's written before much. I mean, other than the whole like Romeo and Juliet love at first sight kind of thing with Lucentio, but maybe Lucentio's just in heat like everybody else Shakespeare writes about. I don't know why everybody's so horny all the time. Maybe it's because Shakespeare's horny all the time. If you read his sonnets, you would know this, because he's literally just like got a watery mouth around any woman that he's made eye contact with. Which is real. He's just like, wow, she's so pretty, but she has a husband. And then by the time he gets married, he's just like, yeah, whatever. She's whatever. She cheated on me, whatever. Damn, Shakespeare never got a break. Okay. Well, thank you for coming to stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I was excited to read this. I will be back on Monday. If you are interested in getting notifications, you can feel free to follow, or you can go on the Discord. I will be there. If you missed part of the stream, I upload all of my streams onto my YouTube channel, so you can stay in the loop. I will see you on Monday. I hope you have a good day, or a good afternoon, or a good night, and goodbye.